That Saturday, all right, because this is gonna bleed into the whole DDG situation and whatnot. I'm gonna get to that point. I'm gonna get to that, right? I went to the Breakfast Club again. Had a grand old little time. Had some good old food. It was me and Blue. Shout out to Blue. You know what I'm saying? So we went there to the convention, going through going through like upstairs, downstairs, and whatnot. And then there was the basketball game that also happened. So me and Paul, we was networking, doing everything it is that we needed to do. So I was around Paul and his family. Shout out to like his brother, his two younger sisters, all that. Um, so where they had the meet and greets and stuff in the back of the exhibit hall, there was these black curtains. So if you had a creator badge, you was able to get through to like the curtains and stuff. So we was sitting down for a bit. And while it is we were sitting down, we had the chance to see Berlin, talk with him, shout outs to him. You know, always a pleasure seeing him and his family. You know what I mean? And it was kind of like eating and stuff like he was taking like a little break. Because man, when I say it is, I feel bad for anybody it is that was waiting for like the lines of seeing AMP. I was waiting for like Mari. I was waiting for Berlin. I was waiting for anybody throughout that whole area. Berlin had such a long line for people to meet him, and by all means, like I said, like I've already done like chopped it up with Berlin so many times, but I can only imagine if it would be my first time, and there was people waiting there from like uh 10 in the morning to go ahead and to meet him. If that's not our aura, then I don't know what the fuck is. Right, I mean, you sitting there, you waiting and stuff like that. Shit, it's Berlin though. You know what I'm saying? It's Berlin. You know, nonetheless, Zach. So we was sitting down for a little bit, and this is when we seen DDG. This is when it is that we seen DDG, and it looked like his brother, and it looked like a couple of his security guards. It was walking behind the black curtain, so nobody seen it. But DDG actually stared at me and Paul. So he was looking, and it was just like, oh, DDG look a little upset. You know what I mean? So come to find out, because afterwards we went to Mark's and Duke's charity basketball game. That was fucking phenomenal. Oh my god, I gotta find the streaming video for that, because at towards the end I actually was towards I was actually behind the agent, and I was with Marcus King. Shout out to Marcus. That's my boy. You know what I mean? Shout out to him, because man, oh man, like it was so cool. Come to find out, on the way going there, I look on Twitter, and I seen it is that there was a video that was going around of DDG's. I think it was his brother. I don't know if it was his security, but it was somebody that was on his side that was basically they fought. I won't even say fought. They jumped. They jumped this guy because he said it is. He said he called DDG doo doo garbage. Soul Illuminati was there too. Believe it or not, Soul Illuminati was there at Dreamcon. He was there at Dreamcon too. He was definitely out there in Houston. The crazy shit, right? So, and all because of the fact that, like, oh, what's up, fan? All because of the fact that somebody said doo doo garbage, and I'm talking about it is like they didn't punch this man, they didn't slammed him, they didn't kicked him onto the ground, and there was a whole video of this on social media. And then later on, DDG was putting the doo-doo garbage as his tweets and stuff. I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna be 1010% honest on how it is that I feel about with this. I will call it for what it is, and I could care less to how people feel about it at the end of the day. Dreamcon has been on the 7th year, right? Since 2019, since it is that they started doing this convention, I know people had like joked around fighting, but this was actually the first year it is that something like that was either happen at this point. And I have to call it for what it is. And keep that hood shit out of the Dreamcon. Keep that hood shit, that level of like you wanting to fight or you fighting or anything like that. Keep that out of Dreamcon convention. When I tell you it wasn't like, mind you, this is the exhibit hall that we're talking about. There is plenty of vendors. There is people it is of all different walks of life that was there, and you're fighting, you're doing all this hood shit in front of them. You know what I mean? There's Houston police. Texas actually, like, you know what I mean? They go ahead. They got the thing on their hip and whatnot. They don't have no problems going ahead and getting the little pew pew and getting a little bullet happy and stuff. I don't play around when it comes down to that. Like, DreamCon is not it's not the place or the time to be doing any of that stuff. Take that shit somewhere else. Don't even take it outside. Take it somewhere else away from the convention. It's disrespectful as hell. It is disrespectful to yourself. It's disrespectful to the vendors. It's disrespectful to the staff members. It's disrespectful to RDC. Take that somewhere else. Please. Please. I shouldn't even have to go ahead and say that. That's common sense at the end of the day. If you want to go ahead and go fight, get into a ring or something. Go do something constructive. You know what I'm saying? They had a nice little wrestling ring up in there. Go ahead, do that. But you wholeheartedly wanted to go ahead and stomp this nigga out at the exhibit hall. And then there's people, it is with the vending that was right there. So me and Paul seeing DDG after post the whole fight. We didn't even realize that. I'm just like, oh, what the fuck is going on, bro? Like, this, keep that ghetto shit. Take that ghetto shit somewhere else. You know what I mean? That's not fair to RDC. That's not fair to the DreamCon staff. That's not fair to the vendors. That's not fair to any of the viewers, because now if they start implementing more levels of security, then I can't even fault it. That's gonna go ahead and bleed into everybody else that didn't even deserve that. You know what I mean? He said, not gonna lie, I'd ban DDG. Nah. I mean, to be honest with you, bans do need to happen. They need to happen. I'm sorry. They need to happen at this point. If this is the type of, what's that, son? At this point, he gotta get banned. I'm all for it. It's great to see you too, my guy. You got to get banned at this point. Like, and especially if you was on Twitter kind of like boasting about what the situation by saying doo-doo garbage and stuff, it makes you kind of corny. And this is what I have the issue with DDG. He has, well, he did, not anymore. If you sit there, you put hands on a woman, but you had redeeming arcs that could have helped out your image, and then you just tank it every time, bro. Even with this, like, you are at fault by proxy, because that's your brother is your blood and he's a part of your team, and he's sitting there putting his hands on people at the convention over something that was minute. I'd understand if the dude would like sucker punch DDG, then all right, cool. I still wouldn't even be down with you fighting at the convention, but nonetheless, your people around you can bring unnecessary things that is not needed. Okay. And instead of sitting there and making those tweets, you should have checked your brother. I'm like, yo, what the fuck is you doing? You know what I mean? I said, RDC and the DreamCon community need to have a discussion with DDG and his bro. I just say ban him at this point. At this rate, you gotta ban him. You can't do that. Because now, what if those vendors it is that saw it firsthand, but like, you know what, I'm cool. I had a great time this year, but I don't think it is. I'll go to a different convention to sell our products. That ruins business. I'm looking at it from a business standpoint. Fuck all the emotion shit. You could check that easily, but like, I don't like that at all. And handling it like, yeah, it was stupid. And when I seen that on Twitter on the way going to the basketball game, I'm like, there's no way. All right, like, there's a time and a place. Keep it, like, keep your emotions in check. Keep it in check. You gotta do that, because if you don't, and you come to like certain events where there's a whole bunch of people that's there to witness, they recording everything and whatnot, that makes you look bad. So DDG is going through quite a bit of stuff currently, and beforehand it's just like, yeah, like him with Hallie and stuff like that sucks. But now at this rate, I'm starting to not have no sympathy no more. I'm starting to not have that sympathy. Like that's it's starting to go out the window at this point, because you know what it is that you're doing. You know what I mean? Said exactly. People don't know what DreamCon might see that fight the trending and decide not to sponsor the event. Exactly. They may not even want to go to the event. They may not even want to sponsor it. Anything it is you do is a reflection of just not only yourself, but it's also the surrounding of where it is that you are. That's why that's why I'm saying there's a time and a place for everything. You know what I mean? So that really did piss me off. That pissed me off so bad. And mind you, people saying doo doo garbage. That was from what Bruce Bruce or Soluminati. I can't remember which one of the two actually like started that, but that should have been able to go ahead and just roll off of you and be like, all right, it is what it is, you know. It shouldn't have ever, and it should have never got to a point to where you have your people fighting. You know what I mean? So wasn't he trying to clip farm? Clip farming gonna get you got. I'm gonna call it. I'm gonna call it for what it is. I'm gonna call it for what it is, Chad. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Clip farming is cool until it gets dangerous. Until it gets you in a situation where you got. I'm 50-50 on with clip farming. Now, nonetheless, there are consequences to people's actions. So if you want to sit there and act a fool, you won't fuck around and find out. But again, there's times and a place for that, for things like that to happen, I seen a tweet that DreamCon went from a convention for anime and gaming nerds to a black convention, meaning straight up YN's bullshit activity, aka fighting. I seen that, and I also seen a tweet. Unless for all intents and purposes, if you're not a part of a D9 Greek organization, fraternity, or sorority, because there was people that was strolling. There was actually a lot of Q dogs at DreamCon, and I love that. I genuinely love that. Like, there's a lot of Qs that I know. There's a lot of Sigmas that I know. There's a lot of Zetas, Deltas, Poodles. There's a lot of different people from the D9 organization that, yes, they are Greek affiliated. They pledged all that stuff through college, and they're actually nerds. So that watch anime and they game too. That I don't understand why it is that tweet was an issue. They're like, oh, like the DreamCon is going downhill. Why? Because niggas is strolling. Just say it is you don't know the history behind it. You know what I mean? Just say that. If you don't know the history behind what strolling is, Greek affiliation, if you want to know, go find out. They have plenty of informationals about it. But just to say it is like the shit is going downhill, it's like, what are you talking about, bro? Like what the fuck are we on as of right now? What are we talking about? You know? Like at this rate, I do believe there was quite a lot of IRL streamers. And I don't have a problem with anybody it is that does IRL streams, but even for myself, when I start to do it, when I get back into like New York, you have to be extra careful because there's going to be people around you that don't have nothing to lose. It's the same thing about with newscasting. Like you're about to report something and there's somebody that gets behind you and says like some weird stuff. That I've seen that happen in first person before. But IRL streaming, it puts you in dangerous situations at times and you got to be a little bit careful, you know? But I don't know how they was doing it in the convention because the Lord, the service in the convention center was kind of trash, especially if you got into the exhibit hall. So some places it was cool, some others it wasn't. But just be careful with that stuff. You know what I mean? I said I'm gonna keep it a bean. I seen niggas strolling in the club before, and they pushed me out of the way. Oh yeah. They definitely do that. There's no harm in it though. There's no harm in it. You know. Always gotta be something at DreamCon each year too. It's like once people see the bad portion, they suddenly think everything about it is bad. Like some need to understand it's not ultimately makes it bad, but some just need to learn to respect the convention and those behind it. Absolutely. You know what I mean? There's some stuff it is that's within control, and there's other stuff like stuff happens at conventions, at all different types of conventions. You know what I mean? There's stuff it is that happened at MomoCon that I heard about. You know, it can happen at any convention. But the biggest thing for me, I'm always going to make sure of this is safety. There was 30,000 people at fucking DreamCon. Okay, my biggest concern is safety. That's a, you know what I mean? I mean, I'm even going ahead and thinking about getting security. Me at my level as of right now, I'm thinking about getting security. I'm thinking about, like, of wholeheartedly doing that. Me at this rate, at this point, like from what it is like I seen, might have to start doing that real shit. I said that's true because not gonna lie, I've seen multiple stories about bad things happening in some IRL streamers. Yeah, I mean, hey, at that rate, it's just like shit. I can't take that risk. One of the tweets I seen was some bots talking about Mari being cringe after the whole Duke Dennis clip. I did see that she was talking about that, and she does bring up a good point about there is a double standard with guys being able to go ahead and to be outlandish and, or they say the wildest things for shock value, but once it is to us women, we do it, you know what I mean, then it's just like it turns into a cringe. By all means, listen, I remember when it is Mari was definitely a mod for Dante in his stream, and for her to branch out and to be able to do her own thing at this point, she was on the main stage and stuff, like I think that's so dope for her level of her success, where it is that she got up to. Like, come on. As a matter of fact, this from Mari. Because that girl wholeheartedly evolved. And she's what, like 21, 22? About to be 22? Shit. Come on. Come on now. Give my girl Mari some credit here. Give her a level of respect. Don't sit there and do that shit. You know what I mean? But yeah, like it's just there's certain things about with you said I'll be your security. Take your pick. Hey, gang. Hey, I understand you trying to be my, call Baps coach or an Axios for protection. I know how Axios is, and especially, what I'm saying, it would have been hands. I think it would be hands for all three of them, to be honest with you. But on a real situation, I do feel like I said, I got blue hair, chat. It may not look as bluified at the moment, but when the sun hits, I am very much noticeable from a mile away. Sometimes it is that people will notice me before I notice them. I can't even quick time event. You know what I'm saying? With my with the level of what's going on, I can't quick time event fast enough. You know what I mean? If I had black hair for sure, you know what I'm saying? Like if I take the wig off and whatnot, like yeah, I'd be able to go ahead because people would be like, I think that's Ari, but I'm not too sure. She don't got blue hair. That'll be the time where it is I could really go ahead and be like, I bet I'm on you. But for me, I think it is getting a level of a professional may be needed moving forward. It may be needed. It may be needed, man. Listen, I don't want anything happening to me. I don't want anything happening to my team. God forbid. God forbid. I'm just saying, God forbid. But I feel like everybody should do that. I feel like everybody it is that's a creator and stuff should have their level of their own entourage to a certain degree, or a level of protection, because you just never know. You know what I mean? You just never know. Like, you gotta be able to, like, you know what I'm saying? No, I get you, Sean. I get you. I am a walking traffic cone. I ain't gonna lie to you. I really am. I don't just do the blue hair for streams and stuff like that. Like Auriel, outside of doing streams, wear blue hair. So it's by all means, it's like, you know what I mean. Like you can able to see me from a mile away. You know.